good is that? Really incredible. I don't know how you can just wake up already just know how disappointing and upsetting. I mean, honestly, right? And so that's the thing is I wake up that way, and then move on through the rest of the day. Struggle moving forward, but still somehow making it happen. Um, I've been having a 2 week long email exchange with somebody at work. I don't know, it makes me feel crazy sometimes because this other person that I'm interacting with is like an adult person. They have the word lead in the title. Um, they have a job that, it requires you to use computers and interact with them and kind of like feel comfortable and like I think that this is definitely like well, okay. I'm I don't know how to say this directly. I'm just like dancing around it because I just desperately I don't want to just be rude, right? Like I don't want to just be like, but this person doesn't know their email address, their own work email address, right? And won't accept my having told them and shown them evidence, right? So I'm not tech support, right? So that's the other thing is I'm not IT, I'm not tech support. So this is sort of like a courtesy for this person, right? A professional courtesy for me to reach out and be like, hey, you think the reason that this thing isn't working for you that you're describing, right, is because you think you have a you're like you're you clearly believe that your email address is something that it isn't, right? And so here, let me just show you, right? Here's what your email address actually is. Here we are, about 2 weeks later. I'd say probably about 10 days, if I'm accurate, right? 10, 11 days, something like that. So, I'm not quite sure what to do. So if this was like just totally isolated, right? Then what? Like, who cares, right? People be dumb sometimes. It's fine, right? But and this is like an organization, I think, with like at least 100,000 employees, or maybe like 10,000, 50,000 employees, right? Uh, it, 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 I don't know. I'd have to look it up, but in any case, it's a lot, right? It's a lot of different states and stuff like that. So these people are all over, right? But they're all working in a kind of business where you really, really want people who aren't lost and scared by computers, right? So, and I think that really, like, I'm being so generous. Like, really, if you're in a modern office workplace at all, then if you don't know how, like, if you're not comfortable using computers, right, then you're fucked. Like, don't work, retire, do something else if that's not something that you feel comfortable, you know, becoming proficient at, because it's just a requirement. I don't know at this point. It's like, what do I need to be able to be? Oh, I was about to use a really bad example. I was going to say, oh, you know, as an analogy, oh, what do I have to be literate for? But nobody's literate either. I spend so much effort, right, composing an email that is clear, contains all of the relevant information. It's just, you have to read it. And like, reading comprehension skills are like nothing. Like, and it's not like people have this thing of oh, the next generation doesn't know how to read or whatever. Well, that's because boomers and like fucking Gen X people don't really know how to read that well either. They like gave up or something, right? Like, I don't know. But it's like, it's not, I mean, it's like, I don't know, it's people my age. It's like exennials, right? Like, what happened? I feel pretty advanced. Like, I liked to learn and read and, you know, all those things. And so what happened, right, to all these other people? And how are we going to have a complex society in the future? I think last time I was streaming, I kind of like was edging around this topic of, well, like, there isn't an answer in like liberal democracy, like not in capitalism, right? It's, I mean, doesn't, boy, I got so much stuff swirling around all of a sudden. I like uncorked the bottle. And this isn't even really what I'm up to, like all this thinking. I don't know why I'm just all of a sudden just fucking expelling all of this nonsense. Let's see. We're gonna switch over to the left desktop, see what we've got. Oh, perfect. And there's no camera. I love this, right? Because I'm not not in the mood. I mean, the leg camera would be fine, like the camera that shows the fucking oh, yeah, so like the leg camera would be fine, but you know, I just don't even, right? So good. That makes me happy. So, this is what I've been up to. An incredibly, I did something. I know there's something wrong with my workflow or my process, because I think I probably spent like, I don't know, 15 hours roughly doing this UV layout for this low poly house, right? So because I want to do, specifically, I want to do like pixel art on it, right? So this is like 1024 by 1024, so we're going to have like a 512 by 1024, or 1024 by 512 space to work with. So we'll definitely get like some nice, like chunky pixel glyphs in there and stuff like that. So but getting the layout, because I modeled this very like using Blender's completely fucked and broken grade system. I somehow figured out how to make it for me, and so everything's like gridded out to pixels, right? So like basically, let me see if I can get this zoomed in, like zoomed into. I think this is it, right? So this is each one of these small light squares is a pixel. So this is 10 pixels, right? The big square. And so I got it all modeled out like this, and I was like, okay, so it'll be pretty straightforward to just sort of like use some kind of, one of the many unwrapping algorithms, right, that are provided with Blender. And it'll give me some way that I can like make sure that the scale is consistent. Nope. I'm sure that there is. Oh, for fuck's sake! God damn it! I knew I was missing something. So this is all fucked anyway. I still haven't even finished this part. So I thought I was done, but I forgot. All these fucks down here. So at least they're down here. So I have these like posts right on the back porch. Concrete plinths. Under the posts, are the sides of the awnings, right? So I got little awnings here. I think this is that's the front of the awnings, and so these are going to be the tops here. Fronts, posts. Well, I spent a lot of time as well arranging everything so that it won't be completely annoying to navigate as I'm working, actually building the texture that this UV map is going to sit on top of. But the other thing is you can't like there's no point in and these need to be split. I want to leave, I don't know, I'm weird like that. I just want to leave pixel apps and everything. 1, 2. Right, you would think, but I don't think that's good. I don't think I should do it that way. See, look, I'm all fucked already. What's this? This is gonna be retarded to navigate, but whatever. I'm like, I also feel like maybe I'm thinking too much about the wrong shit when I'm doing it. I'm also feeling extremely personally. I know that's just these are all the sides. Okay, perfect. All right. This is part of the concrete. It can actually just go there. Boy, that would be nice, wouldn't it? It'd just be perfect. Nothing about that is good. I don't like any of that packing. It's terrible. It's ugly. Shitty. And then I have a fucking multi-step process to get this into the pixel art program, right? So I have to open SVG. I don't know. I There we go. Okay. Because I don't need the outlines. Okay, right? Don't need the outlines. Only need the fills. Right? And these give me, and then I can like this, copies of. Anyway, all right, I can, yeah, replace it, and now everything is appropriately gapped. I really don't want to start modeling. Oh, nope. Missing gaps. Great. Oh. Where? Wait a minute. Yeah, there's no missing gaps. Oh, there are. Eh. Uh, what am I even modeling? This is. Oh, okay. I don't have. Oh, yeah, there is no bottom. That's also an unsatisfying. But. Oh, yeah. I still would rather find these now. Feel some kind of way about it 100 hours from now. Hundreds of hours into doing the. Alright, Jesus Christ, make sure to fucking select them all. Does it have like a. Okay, they're all UVs. Right. Both of these. Alright. Yeah. And I don't even know why I'm. More time for the people in the back. Um, yeah, so there's just a lot of incompetence at work, and like, I don't know. Again, I have been thinking a lot about like virtue and ethics and just and I'm not sure like I sometimes feel like the world is happy to just copy off the work of the nerds, which is just like not the world, just Americans, right? Like they're just so everybody here is just so awful. No like inner spirit or like fucking introspection or thought of anything that could like transcend uh their uh, concerns, their immediate concerns, right? So I don't know. uh I have a very similar feeling this year as I did in 2022, or 21, when Clackamas and Estacada and all that were on fire. And I knew a bunch of people, like new people, and then they also knew a bunch of people, right? And we're all fucked. Everybody, had to evacuate. Nobody I knew personally like lost their homes, but I knew people like sleeping in their cars and shit like that because it was just crazy, right? And then there's all of this like smoke in the air, and it's just like, kind of like with like the Palisades fires, right? Like that's just people's homes. It's like it started as a wildfire, but now it's fucking destroying everybody's homes and shit. And it makes the sky a really like livid and vivid color. And I don't know, it just makes me think of the apocalypse. It's not like a happy time or like a happy feeling or anything. This is also the first day that I've noticed that the smoke has been hanging really low to the ground. So it's been hazy all weekend, whatever, but you could really see the smoke through the trees in the neighborhood. Very much something. And so I've been trying to keep things in perspective, right? So waking up feeling like annoyed doesn't seem like it's of that much importance, right? Because they're lost. I'm not lost. I know where I am. I know who I am, and I know where I'm going and what I do. But it's like everybody around me is like so lost. But old, it gets tired. Like I get tired because it's just like I didn't become not lost like on accident, right? Like everybody, like I've got people in my life that straight up look at me and go, "Oh, boy, good luck with you, bruh." I fucking my life and me personally, I was trash. My life was trash, and I was headed into the dumpster, right? And it took, I don't know, God, like 20 years, like fucking 20 years to get that shit fucking figured out, right? Like, it was hard as fuck, and it took time, and like many times I really did, like, not feel like continuing, right? And it's just like, but you do, and you keep moving, and but you get better. You don't just like console yourself and just like, oh, like wish for a lottery or like, whatever. Like just I don't know. A lot of things are just perspective, right? I think it helps to come from, you know, I won't say like privation, but there were definitely times like when we were on food stamps and I learned the art of dodging bill collectors pretty early, right? So, it's not like I didn't start with like any of these skills. Like nobody cared. Like, uh, I am lucky that like I have a job with like a 401k and shit like that, right? But like even if I didn't, I feel like I would still be able to figure it out. And then also, I got the job and then didn't squander it, which 13 years at that job, I saw a lot of people squander that opportunity, right? As though this type of shit is just, I mean, and for some people, right? Some people it is. It is just an entitlement. They're just born with it. Like, there's no way they're never not gonna, have a job where they make enough money to survive and shit like that. Which for me, it was super questionable for a really long time. Like did a lot of research, thought super serious about being like a hobo and stuff like that, right? Because it was just like I don't know, I'm young, right? Fucking 25, whatever. I'll go figure it out. I'll go ride the rails and, bum around and just do odd jobs and just, live a really humble life. I'm okay, like, eating beans from a can or whatever. I got no special tastes or anything like that. But, I thought that that would be an okay life. But I got the opportunity, right, to pursue something different, to try to see if it would even work, right? Open to the possibility that I'm not even fit for just regular normie life at all, right? Um, and then it's also not free, right? Like people pulling strings, um, my ability to have have opportunities doesn't just come from nowhere, right? Like there are people that are pulling strings and like helping, and so I have to make the most of those opportunities as well, right? So it's just a sense of personal responsibility. Um, yeah, of doing your best, but not just using that as an excuse. If you do your best, but you don't get it quite right, then that's not just like, oh, okay, I guess I just did my best. Like, no, okay, we're not gonna put you in prison or fucking beat you up or anything. Right? Like, you have to try harder next. Right? You have to do better. You have to figure out what it was. You have to be open to being wrong and not having the answer. Um, I think people are missing a lot of that introspective part. People see outside, but they don't see inside. Oops. All right. He said, oh no, okay, it's very good. Sure. Oh my god. I'm retarded is why. I wonder how I feel about that. Just look at that. This is fine. And I get why it does this. I wonder if I can turn the anti-aliasing off. Oh, look, I can. Perfect. Re-export it with the anti-aliasing off. Try that again. Oh, yeah. Wonderful. I'm not 100% sure how good that's going to be because, I guess let's test it out. Shit. Because I think, uh, here. Off the main window. Look. Um. Okay, just move. I suspect. But before we get ahead of ourselves, put in the blender. Look at our fucking monstrosity. So, dating. I want to make sure. What's there? Oh yeah. All right. Oh, I know what the answer is. Oh, hello again, Inkscape. I think limiting the anti-aliasing level to 1 has kept it from X, Y. I think and it was definitely something that I considered as I was putting it together with these angles, but in any case, uh, right, perfect. Those, I think, everything. Save this as. Now we're going to replace it. And layer. Sure. No. Okay. Blender. Interesting. Really thought that would have been enough. Look at that. So, there's a couple of ways to approach these angles. One of the things that I did was I decided I didn't care about the conformancy of the stretch on like these on the side of these awnings, right? So these are straight uh, you know, X. Like they're just straight. There's no on the UV. There's no peak. It just goes straight across. So when you make a straight line of black and then a straight line of gray or whatever, then it's gonna tilt up this way. It's gonna get a little janky up here, where the two faces meet. But I'm genuinely not a little worried about that. I think that'll look fine. I am extremely worried about this stuff, though. And there's a tedious thing that we could do. No, not even that wouldn't really work. So all right, I think I know. I mean, I don't think there's any method of exporting the U that's truly gonna be perfect. And so the reality of the situation is that's right. So on all of these. How fucking annoying is that? How annoying is that? But you know what? Anything for art. Anything at all for the process. At least in the end, everything that I've done here will be something that came out of my mind and my ambition. So I'm okay. I mean, honestly, like I said, I've already put in like fucking 15, 20 hours of this shit. Supposed to be at work helping those fucking dum-dums, really turned this way, looking at this shit, wondering what the fuck I'm doing with my life, building all this, by hand. But, you know, I think this is it. I think this is just the way, you know. I can't do it, you know. Like Peggy says, you know, I can't just loop it and leave it, dog. It's just not the way it works for me. I know that's fine for other people. I know that's fine for other people. And people just be looking for a fucking, oh man. Oh, I can't, oh God. I feel like if there was, well, I don't know again. So I really would get assassinated if I was just like, oh yeah, no, I fucking I'm gonna I have oh yeah, I won the lottery for sure. I have to go on TV or like tell people or whatever. I'll be completely public and just be like, yeah, I'm gonna shovel it into an incinerator. I'm gonna find a big pit, like a burn pit or a burn pile or something, somewhere private. I'll you know, I'm just gonna shovel it into a fucking burn pit. I think I would need like security. Uh, People would really be out there trying to assassinate me if I tried to do some shit like that. If I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna convert it all to cash, right? Get all the cash. I'm gonna take all those bills and I'm just gonna shovel them into an incinerator. $1 billion, $500 million. Oh God, I'm getting excited just thinking about it, right? In a way that thinking about having the money does not excite me, right? Oh, like, yeah, because I don't know, it's so crazy. People get themselves so wrapped up about it, and it's just meaningless. Like, it's literally meaningless. Most people are too stupid and fucking retarded to do anything besides just ruin their lives and probably multiple other people's lives with that kind of money. right? So, but again, no insight, literally just can't see, like, or just like literally don't care, no ethics or morals, doesn't matter who burns along with them, right? Uh, or instead of them sometimes. So, yeah, yeah, that thought really does excite me. I wish that I could have that opportunity. Uh, just feels so good. Because my life wouldn't change. I already have a life that I enjoy. I love like I like myself and I like my life and I like all the things that I'm about. Uh, the only thing that could possibly do is change it, right? Um, and then to keep it and maintain it, uh, you end up having to do a lot of things that maybe you wouldn't necessarily think are like the cool things to do in the world, right? So that's a bit of that, of how you know people's tastes will just continue to grow and evolve, as they're able to meet them more readily. So I prefer just to stay out of that. Uh, Again, like, I like who I am. I really wouldn't want to put that in jeopardy. Literally nonsense, nothing. Just a fucking fake bullshit. Yeah, insanity. I got debt and spending addicts in my life. People with completely bottomless pits of want, that they absolutely cannot figure out how to sew closed. Or it's basically just a matter of like not really being willing, right? Because that's the thing, is like, people certainly have, like, asked me about it, and like, but it's like something that, like, it always costs. Everything costs. Like, if you want to be free from, like, you can't both be free from desire and then also have everything in the world, right? Like, it just doesn't work that. I don't know. It's sad. So, like, it doesn't make me happy, like, to think about. I wish people were satisfied with, like, their own lives, like, the things that they're about, but no, can't. I don't know. You can't force people. It's another thing I was thinking about, what to do when my 10-year plan is up. Uh, Because one thing that people used to do, uh, is you could sort of take your money, wealth, modest, whatever, right? And you just go and, like, oh, I'm gonna go found a monastery, right? So let's go get some I'll be a lay brother, right? I'll be the patron. Then we'll get ourselves like an abbot and a fucking a couple of monks, and I get to benefit from the teachings of the monks, and the monks have a place to have students and stuff like that. In any case, right? Not something you could do. I was just thinking about it the other day. I was like, man, I was just like, oh, okay, yeah, here, this Buddhist school, I go over there, and I'm like, oh, money, and they're like, immediately like unvirtuous or whatever about it. Like, you're done at that point. You can't really like go around and go shopping it around and shit like that. Like, it would be a thing of faith, right? So just be okay, well, but there's too much mental poison. Um, you can't be virtuous like that uh, without harming yourself or others. So that's again the other thing, right? Whatever I have, right? Take it, move to a monastery, and burn it there. Because that was another thing that I was thinking as well, is because it's just like used to burn paper money as a sacrifice, right? Um, maybe, some of it goes to the luck god, some of it goes, to your stash for the afterlife, and shit like that, or whatever, right? And it's so funny, right? Because it used to be like money. It was something. It was a bit of metal or something, worth something in and of itself. And so you had to have this paper money you had to burn sacrificially, so that you could spiritually enrich, or you could enrich things in the spiritual world, right? But now all our money is paper. And I think it's all kind of nonsense and bullshit. And really, the only good it could possibly do in the world is to be burned as a sacrifice, uh, to the fucking spirits. There's no literally. And so I don't know. Certainly one of those things that I consider an option once the 10-year plan is done is I just sort of like, burn it. I don't want to give it to anybody. And yeah, I don't want to give it to anybody. I don't want to do anything with it. Like if I'm not in a situation or state of mind or something where I'm not gonna be able to put it to use for like the following 10 to 20 years, right? As I grow older and older, hopefully. And I would rather it just be annihilated. It doesn't belong in this world. I don't think, and if it's something that I've gathered, right, that I've accumulated around me, it's kind of part of my, like, physical material essence, right? Because of the way that it's sort of like collected to me. Because that is really like the luck part of it, of just sort of like being born in the United States and like, and so to have like, I think it shouldn't, I don't want to, I think it has to go. I think it has to, and yeah, it has to just be burnt. If there's anything left over, it has to go. That was a really vivid image and of putting it all in a big bonfire. And then the fishing rod and retiring to my thatched hut. I genuinely have no idea what, like, I don't know how you get to a certain point, because like I get it when you're like a kid and you don't. I don't know how you get to be an older person, and still like taken in by like illusions, like like 3 card Monty shit. Like, oh, I got your nose. Oh God. Oh, where'd the quarter come from? It was behind my ear the whole time. Like, I don't know. Like, it's it's so many layers of illusions, right? And you just keep sort of like peeling them back and peeling them back. I mean, I don't know. I do. Other people, they don't, but I do. I peel them back and I peel them back. And I have, I don't, like, I feel like I peeled it back all the way, right? Like, like, that's it. Like, there is now, that is the answer. It's really not satisfying if, you're the kind of person who desperately leads to illusion, right? So if you're really gonna like have a mental breakdown and like completely change like overnight as a person, like uh uh because like you because the fucking you know wealth and fucking fame and shit is all just an illusion. It's just like it never is gonna satisfy you, right? Like if that kind of like revelation is really gonna like psychically harm you, then whatever, I guess. But it's like you could like anybody can do it, just takes time. You can't do it. It doesn't happen overnight. If it did, again, you kind of go insane probably. Um, and so like as a society though, we're kind of like letting people down and like not uh not giving people this path forward through to like inner understanding, right? And I think again in another stream I talked about Christianity is just not it. That is not a good moral foundation, like a moral ethical like foundation for virtue in a society. It clearly does not work. So uh I'm not quite sure what else there is for people. I found Eastern philosophy, but um, a lot of people approach these topics in a really pedestrian way. And these were really smart people. They weren't fucking potheads sitting around, wondering this or that. These people were living in incredibly serious and dangerous times. Um, Times where being wrong, right, in a matter of philosophy when you're doing statecraft, like, could literally kill you. Like, the Lord, your liege Lord that you've gone on sworn fealty to in the aptly named Warring States period. The shit you told him doesn't help him have a good government, and fucking kill your ass. So it was like a real put your money where your mouth is time for philosophy. And so I it's not just bedroom philosophy. It's not. And it's yeah, it's pathetic how trivialized uh, it became, like to the point where I dismissed the even the idea of there being like any value in Eastern philosophy for the majority of my life. Why? Just, I don't know, cultural prejudice. Uh, what do we need the Eastern philosophers for when we have the Western philosophers and they're right about everything, right? Insanity, stupidity, blindness, right? Of myself. We're talking a personal transformation in that regard of only 10 years. So, um, I, I am not immune to idiocy, right? Like blindness, um, being a fucking moron. I am not immune to it, but it matters to me. Like, when I would have these arguments so out of my depth as a teenager with these college educated adults, moms, again, I'm a 16-year-old, moms, educators, fucking people that used to be in the military, all kinds of people, have adults having conversations with them. And the thing that I hated, that I discovered, like, because you would have these I would have these conversations, and I would want to be right. And it was so humiliating to me to be wrong publicly. And I didn't know what to do with my feelings. I had a lot of angst. I didn't know, like, I would just get upset. I would be wrong, right? And then just get more further upset, like more defensive, more, well, I have to be right somehow. And like, and it would just, and I ended up feeling like the thing that I hated the most was this like shame spot, right? Where I've humiliated myself publicly, right? But instead of just moving on, right? Like accepting the situation for what it is, right? I was wrong. This other person was correct. I was being aggressive. Um, and made a fool of myself, right? Um, it would just like the the more I would try to have, like, the more I would try to, or the more I would exercise like a defense mechanisms, like psychological defense mechanisms against the shame and humiliation. Uh, like the more it would spiral out. I would want to, like, if the engagement was still going on, then I would want to double dip. If the engagement was over, then I would want to find them and re-engage. Right? I could not be. I couldn't just let it be. I couldn't just sit with being ashamed of and being. So I did, like, that was one of those things where it's like eventually I was like, well, the problem isn't that I'm wrong, right? Because people are just wrong. People can be wrong, are allowed to be wrong. It's okay to be wrong. The not being able to, it like except to be the person who is wrong, right? Not just in abstractly in theory, but in fact, you make an ass out of yourself, humiliate yourself in a public debate or public exchange of words. And I think my first sort of inkling of that was just when I just put a moratorium on disagreements in general. Like, I knew there was something wrong. And then the less I spoke and just other people sort of like engage with themselves, right? Like, I don't know. A lot of things changed, right? So my relationships with people changed, in as much as like I no longer, I don't know, it was like ever like things anyway. The point is getting very pedestrian now, but suffice to say, I don't like it, but you know, you gotta be wrong or you can be right usually. So, and even when I think I'm right at this point, I'm like asking people, you know, like, you gotta have the right people to be able to ask, obviously, but yeah, even when I think I'm right, I do that a lot at work. Maybe that was something that I like picked up through work, found that to be like a definite success skill, right? Like things definitely like started taking like a better turn when I started adopting that of just like, even when I feel that I know something, like clarifying and making sure that I understand it. I yeah, because like I got like a, not like a bad reaction, but definitely like a weird reaction, especially like you know, when I do things at work, like when I was training, take notes. Like I'm just like, and especially I have a remote job, so I can just like open up Notepad and take notes. I type way faster than I write, and so I'm taking all kinds of notes and stuff like that. And there's something going like that I run into in the queue that I hadn't run into before. And so like it's me, the person who trained me, and like another person we're on a call together. And because the person who trained me is also not familiar with this process, so we brought in a third person, Eric's telling what's going on. And I think we're like in the call for maybe like 15-20 minutes, right? But I'm like taking notes the whole time because I don't know any of this stuff. And this is a person like taking time out of their day. How embarrassing would it be if like literally like the next day or something I run into this again, I don't have any fucking notes. I'm like, how did we do that thing? God, I would repeat, that would be humiliating, right? And so I'm taking notes. But and then, you know, we finish up and we're getting off the call and I'm just like, hey, before you go, I just want to make sure that I understand this correctly. And I read them back, the notes that I have, and like they're like, yeah, but it's also this other weird reaction that is underlying it, right? Of like that they didn't even think, like nobody even thought of that. Like that somebody would be taking notes, not just like looking, and like somebody want to actually make sure that they understood the information, right? And I don't know, like I felt when I started coming to all of this stuff, just sort of like stumbling into it, ass first on my own as I became an old man, right? Like, I felt very embarrassed. Nobody taught me any of this stuff. Nobody showed me. Nobody even thought to show me. It's happening to me now. I want to tell other people because it's so like this is the kind of shit that I'm like, my parents should have helped me out, right? Of like emotional self-regulation and fucking uh like diligence, um timeliness, things like that, right? Where it's just like, literally, I think if I would have stayed back in my hometown instead of getting exposed to a different way of being where I'm at now, I would have literally just been a pathetic loser for the rest of my life. I would not have known any better. Nobody around me back there knew anything about how to be good or cool, right? Like, all they knew was poverty and how to fucking scummy and trashy, right? Like, just the kinds of attitudes of like, well, it doesn't matter how hard you work or how hard you try or how good you are at anything, just win the lottery, or just get a high paying government job and then just sit on your ass all day and earn a pension or something. That was like people's dream. um Complete insanity. Like, but I knew no other way. Like, those were all the people around me, just trash people. But then I right, and so it feels that way because then I went somewhere where there was still that aspect, right? But there were other ways of being being modeled around. Like, people were still like, oh yeah, if you like work hard and like pay attention, do good, then yeah, you'll get a raise, like different stuff. Where like literally it was like, you like, where I'm from, you were a sucker to be like, you were gonna try hard or like be good at anything. um it was all about doing the least possible or the most outcome, right? So just I don't know, just foul shit, just foul attitudes. And I feel like it was just in poverty communities originally, but it's now just sort of like a wider thought. Even if you're like doing okay, like you're like me, like I'm not impoverished. I'm not impoverished, but I'm not even middle class, right? Like, I'm not. That's not a thing. But I'm not like, I'm well above the poverty level for a single male, like in the United States, and I have more money than I have any desire to spend, right? Not that I have a ton of it, but it's just, right. Uh, so even people in my status, where you know it really does, like, probably people in my range, right? Like my little range of like skill, income, socioeconomic status, right? Where like my effort really does matter. Like, if I decided to just like, oh, I don't care, do half the amount of work or whatever, I could probably get by for like maybe another year, right? Before like people start asking, like, there start being like real consequences. stress, lot, unnecessary stress get added to my life. Economic potential economic consequences, stuff like that, right? But it matters, right? Whether or not I try. So when I try hard, I excel. When I try a little bit, then I get a B, right? uh, and when I don't try at all, I get a D. So it's like, but the people that are in the similar situation to me would rather identify with like poverty mindset and um, a self-directed mindset. All right, so like pretending like you don't have choices, like you have to make the same choices a desperate and impoverished person has to make. That's part of why my life is so good, even though I'm humble, right? It's just, I don't stress myself out pretending I have to make desperate poverty choices every morning, right? Yeah, because I think that's part of that thing of like people who need that drama going on, like surrounding them at all times, in order to justify like they're falling short in whatever way, right? Because they're like these people like, so like they still want all of the praise of like, oh gosh, you're doing so good in your life and blah blah blah, but they're falling short at everything, so they have to project an air of disaster around themselves at all times, so that when they're late or they forget to pick up their kids or whatever, it can never be their fault, right? um, it's just, oh, things are just so hectic or whatever, right? I think it's related to that, right? Where people want just like simple ignorant lives, right? Like they look at that and they're like, oh gosh, isn't it so easy? Like uh for thousands of years, again, ancient Chinese saying, about fucking the smart ones do all the work while the dumb ones get to chill, right? So everybody wants to be the dumb one who just gets to chill, but that's only like up until a certain age, right? And I think like when you're a kid, that age really looks like an adult, but we're talking like 22, 23, right? Which when you're on the other side of that does not look that much like an adult anymore. So you can get away with that, but the more that you do that, the more like that stress and drama is gonna accumulate around you and make things more difficult, just in a real way. uh, this is disappointing. It's a disappointing mindset, but really in the end, I'm trying to only worry about what I do in the end. There's really nothing that I can do about how other people, uh, what other people value, how they choose to behave, things like that. I'm gonna complain about it when it intersects with me just living my life. But then again, I'm not. When I'm at work, I'm not really just living my life, am I? I am working for that organization and meant to be interacting with those people, whoever they are, however they come to me. So, um, yeah, I did wake up. Sorry mood. Really gotten, but what does feel better is having worked out or exercised a little bit of these feelings. I'm probably over well-trodden territory at this point, but just spew my guts.